Hi, welcome to Friday Love, and many thanks for the inspiration from your home, your garden. Please come through my garden and I can share my love. We have lots of edibles. Here we have the lovely tulsi, strawberries, parsley, many different herbs and wild plants growing. More tulsi. Oh, our lime. Our lime tree might be a little bit hard to show you. There we go. Our Tahitian lime. It's loving. We've had a morning shower, so it's loving the rain. More trees. We have fruit trees all our little urban garden. They pop up everywhere. Here we have our lovely sapodilla. If you're not familiar with the sapodilla, that's like eating caramel. It's just a little baby and they have like a little fur on their skin. That's the sapodilla. The madrono. There's a madrono there. It's just a little baby. It'll get a little bit bigger. That's got a nice tart taste. I have lots of tulsi. I love my tulsi that I use in my fermented products, and as well I love it as a tea. We've just picked down a lovely bunch of bananas. And now, of course, our lovely harvest, our harvest of today, our dragon fruit. See all our lovely dragon fruits that we've just picked. We had a big lightning storm on Monday and it really has produced a lot of fruit, thankfully. We've got a nice little pawpaw for breakfast, our pink Thompson pink grapefruits, carambolas, lemonades. Nice little variety there. So what do I do with all this? Well, I love to store it. Originally, that's how the tradition of fermenting come about, that you'd store your garden harvest so that when it's out of season, you've got all these little beauties that you can use. And now even science has jumped on board that with the connection of the probiotic-rich foods that some of these produce, and it's for that happy, healthy gut, happy mind. This is a tamarind tonic. It's a tamarind and turmeric. We grow our own turmeric. There's our turmeric there. It's a nice little fresh dug one there. And the tamarinds we forage down by by our river when we go for a river walk. They hang like little cat poos really hanging from the tree. But that tonic, that is just wonderful. You can use it as a base for your dressings, or you can just have it as like a cordial. You can put it in and top it up with a fizzy water or a straight water, but it's very, very nourishing. There's your ginger and turmeric, which is done in our own lime brine. The strawberry and the tulsi. Our tulsi that I use a lot of, that's in a shrub, which is like a drinking vinegar, and you can use that in your salad dressings, but it's lovely as an actual drink. That's your honey infused garlic. That's not actually a fermentation, but it's an infusion, because when we get these lovely ferments, like these are all just started, which I've pulled out there, it's the good bacteria, and they've got to have food because they're live foods. So what they eat is they live on the carbohydrates. So the bacteria turn that's their food, and they turn that like the carbohydrate and the sugar, say as in the cabbage. If we think of the cabbage here, the sugar in the cabbage is their food. So when they eat that out, they turn it sour. So that's then the good probiotics. It's good gut loving for us. Now, there's nothing to say there's anything wrong with your honey infusions, just that don't get confused that you're using it for your probiotic value, because you're not. It stays sweet. So it has its uses in the kitchen, but don't call it a fermentation. It's a honey infusion. But oh gosh, it's so tasty. The actual honey itself, because you leave that for at least a month, where the garlic infuses the honey, and so that actual honey is really good if you feel like you feel a bit coldy, a bit of the lurgy coming on. You can actually put a little drop of it in some little hot water before you go to bed. It's very soothing for you. And the garlic cloves themselves, well, as part of a cheese platter or something, it's just absolutely wonderful. Here we have our little wild blueberries that have been infused in an apple cider vinegar. The kombucha molasses, that's very good for restoring your pH balance, that alkaline and acidic balance that we need to have our pH. So just like a little teaspoon of it a day and build it up till you get to a tablespoon a day. They also tell me it's very good for grey hair. So there you go. We've got our drinks here. This one is come from actually your tamarind leaves. So the leaf itself is edible. You can pop those into many different types of ferments. The tomato salsa, that's one of the easiest ferments to make. With that one, I've just used everything from our garden, tomatoes and some greens and some shallots and a little bit of ginger and a little bit of turmeric and a little bit of lime zest and lime juice, and it's ready in like 2 to 3 days, and it'll keep on improving the flavour. And it's one that's just so good to have a couple of bottles, because someone pops in, you can just pop a bit on bruschetta and a little bit of cheese, whatever type of cheese you like, whether it be nut cheese or your feta cheese, and just drizzle a little bit of oil over, and oh, she's just beautiful. Here, this is a way of preserving your citrus that you grow, and in here I've got your turmeric, so that's a salted citrus, and that just gives your kitchen a really wow factor. At the back here is our fermented mango, because we live in the tropics, and there is our pomegranates that we make into a relish. So when you serve that, a couple of slices of your fermented green mango, and you mix through some of the relish, it's just a marriage made in heaven. Here we have our little carrot coins, and these ones are done in a lime brine. Here's the way to store your herb garden harvest. That's like a salted herbs, and you use that in place of where you would use your salt. And there is our garden eggplant. So that one is all the fermented garden eggplant. This one's a little rainbow vegetable medley straight from the garden. Of course, our kimchi at the back. And that one's a little miso garlic. So that's our garlic that's been infused in miso. And this is the one that everyone needs to get to know if you're starting off in fermentation. That's just your cabbage brine, and that's your really gut-loving medicine. That's medicine in a bottle, that one. And you start off slow, just a teaspoon a day, and you build up till you get to a tablespoon a day. And that's all you really require of all these things. If you really want to start somewhere, that's your starting point. This little fella here, these are our, just pardon me, I'll just open up the lid. These are our golden shallots that we grow, and we'll have a look at that. Isn't that just wonderful? Look, that's your whole golden shallot, and that's done in a turmeric brine with our own peppercorn from our little pepper tree. So, and they're just wonderful. I mean, they're all just wonderful, and they all have their little places where you can put them into your diet. So these are all starting, so these will go back and be covered. We don't leave them out in the sunlight, but I've just brought them out to show you them at the stage where they have just started. And of course we don't open them up because they're in that very first stage. So we want the good bacteria to take hold, and we don't need to change the composition of the stages of where it needs to go through at least the 3 fermenting stages. And in this one, this is a red cabbage, and it has a nashy pear in there, so that one will ferment quicker because it does have the fruit in there. So that's my little family and my love. Everyone knows that this is my love, anyone that has been following me for any time. I've been sharing these foods for decades. I grew up with them. I have German heritage, as you can see by my name, but Matilda Augusta Stein was my grandma who put this into me from a very young child. I went on to study nutrition, and I have this just wonderful love of food and healing people. And with this, I've found that it certainly is a very, very, very happy food. And like I said, science has jumped on board with the connection of the happy gut and happy mind. And certainly it's not the answer, but it's part of the answer. And it takes away your cravings, and the stories that I get back from people of the healing, it's just amazing. And people with the bloat, you've got this, everyone knows when your body's out of balance, it communicates to you. So we just have to add some good bacteria back to replace the bad bacteria, because basically you have that gut lining, and the gut lining gets impaired, so it's just like broken down. So it'll just all your bad bacteria will sneak through, and it gets into your bloodstream, and then it'll just cause havoc. So I sort of put together a little course on all this, but it still wasn't doing the same thing as what
it's really similar to what happened when I would do my like workshops and things, that people just still weren't getting into it. It was just all still too confusing, or too overwhelming is the word, rather than confusing, because it's not confusing once you get to know all the different families and how it all works, and how, like a vinegar will produce acetic acid, where these will produce your lactic acid fermentation, the probiotic rich, and how you can have little bits of everything, and why we need every little bits of all the different families, and how we can use them as an alternative to what we're already using in our diets, like with fizzy drinks and smoothies and things like that, what we can incorporate and how we can incorporate and how we can go slow. So I've put together a founding members membership, where you can come on board, and we'll be going live, and we'll have question and answer time. We'll have times where we will tell you exactly what we're making. We'll have planning days so that your fridges are full of good food, and you know what you can use and how you can substitute and how you can go slow. So do join me, or DM me to find out any further information that you would like. And I do have like a free Facebook group and things that you're welcome to join as well. Thank you so very much. And I have enjoyed my Friday. Love sharing with you.